Motorcycle season is beginning. The 2023 bike racing season is about to begin for me, and I'll explain later on what I mean by racing, what definition of racing that I'm using, what series and so forth. But we're out of time. We are literally out of time, and I'm not 100% positive I'm going to have my equipment ready even for the first track day. Let's showcase / examine my machines and give their current status, starting from the bottom to the top, from least to best. First bike, the Chinese M2R, bought from Fun Bike, 160cc. This bike is at the shop getting a refresh because these Chinese bikes need as much preventative maintenance as they can get just to keep them running period. I'm redoing all the oil lines, probably replacing them with braided lines because I did an oil cooler delete mid-practice, just ripped it all off. The bike likes to spit oil all over the racetrack, and it's not fun cleaning it off mid-practice. Oil cooler delete. Don't be silly, no need for a little oil radiator when you're further north in Moscow racing this bike in the middle of November. So rerouting the oil back to the block is basically what I did. And it's what I will be undoing to ensure the life of this cheap bike. This practice bike is not as important as the next two bikes on the list. And bike number 2, runner-up, my 06 CBR 1000 Fireblade. Nothing beats a Honda. This old trusty bike pushing 146 horsepower. To the wheels, it eats everything I throw at it. Literally today, I finished the bike. It's ready for the track with a makeshift brake lever guard, and I am glad this bike is ready to go because I have a funny feeling it won't be the first time this bike bails me out of situations, as I simply believe it'll be the workhorse for the 2023 season. I want it to be the next bike, which, spoiler alert, is an R1, but this CBR is a tank. Who knows, maybe one day I'm going to upgrade it to 190 horsepower, but in the meantime, this is the bike that just takes a ticking and keeps on licking. This is the bike that is the tank. I'm going to send to Ukraine as a gift to the Ukrainian army. I digress, back to the CBR in segue to the next bike. The CBR is well over 10 years old, where my R1 is within the 10-year limit, so I can race it in the Superbike KMSE series, where if I wanted to race the CBR, the underpowered CBR, it'd be in the Clubman series, which at 146 horsepower, I guarantee the guys running in that Clubman series are pushing 200 horsepower, so just lack of skill. Never mind that, the lack of horsepower is going to be an issue right then and there. Moving right along to the grand finale. And before I talk about bike number 1, the main bike, the King, something I'm not even confident I'll be ready to ride or qualified to take this machine to the low lap times needed to be successful in any race series, as if I'm going to join a race series. I just want to track day this thing, see how much fun I have. And before I talk about any of that cool stuff, any of those exciting prospects, be sure to subscribe before the season kicks off, because who knows, we're in talks about making a race team, even though that's just locker room talk between me and my buddies with the pre-injected 600 series, the 600 Super Sport, or whatever the heck you want to call it. I don't want to look at in the rule book just so I get the nomenclature correct just for this stupid video. But nonetheless, be sure to subscribe because 2023 is gearing up to be a track day race extravaganza. I don't know what you want to call it, racing frontier. At least it is for me. I'm going to learn a whole bunch of new stuff, showcase a bunch of new stuff, 360 camera, GoPros, racing down at 100 whatever miles an hour. I got dB levels that are too high, so I need to quiet them up. So maybe I can go into continental Europe and track day there. Maybe I'll be racing Ducatis in Italy or BMWs in Portimao, Portugal. Oh man, it's going to be a great season. Anyways, after all that bullshit, I need to hardcore digress to give a status on the R1. The sump pan, the oil pan, has so much corrosion that the mechanic working on it doesn't feel confident that the oil drain plug will even hold. Now, put that on a track day and my life is in jeopardy, so I'll be replacing that. But because there's such last minute maintenance, I don't even think I'm going to get it to my first track day. Maybe my second. I know the third track day, which is in England, I just don't know if I'm going to make it. I hope my CBR is up and running. What I want is wets on the CBR. I want that to be my wet bike. I want the R1 to be the big bad bike so that I can impress my friends and they can think so I can be a Valentino Rossi reincarnated. All in the hopes that Yamaha signs this late 30-year-old motorcycle rider into MotoGP. Who am I kidding? I'm 40.